Wake up with the sunrise, laptop on the sand. Dreaming of a school drive, build it hand in hand. Some of us with the blueprint, wisdom in the flow. Keep it simple.
What's up, everybody? Let me see if I can slow.
Grow. We build a tribe community.
All right. What's up, everybody? So if you've been trying to grow a paid community, but you're struggling to get people to buy from you, you might want to rethink that strategy. And today we're going to talk about a different approach that you might want to think about. So starting with a paid community first is the wrong approach for about 90% of the people out there, especially those of you that are just getting started. If you're starting from scratch with little or no audience and you expect people to magically buy from you without first establishing trust and authority, there's a good chance you're going to continue to struggle. And so in this episode, Jeff and I are going to discuss an alternative approach and what I believe is the best strategy for a majority of you people out there. And it's called the free community funnel. And so I'm going to walk you through exactly how this funnel works. I'm going to talk about why it's so effective. And we're going to show you some real results from our own communities. And also we're going to cover some of the latest updates from School and Go High Level communities and a whole lot more. So stick around and let's jump right in. What's up, Jeff? How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, brother. Doing really good. I love when we get like an opportunity to teach on something that like everybody can win from this. Like this is a strategy that like absolutely positively everybody can win if they just implement it. So I'm stoked to really talk about this one today. This is going to be a really, really good one for those of you that are ready to start generating revenue and like really growing your business. So this is a good one for y'all.
Yeah. And we'll get into that in just a second. A couple of things that I just want to talk about. So first of all, the School updates. They're in the middle of rolling out a lot of the roadmap stuff right now. So for the past few weeks, they've just teased some different announcements, talked about some different things that they're doing coming up, but some of them are really cool. I'm really excited about a few of those. The first one that they talked about a couple of weeks ago, and we've been off for a couple of weeks. I was in Mississippi visiting my parents, and my webcam wasn't working. But last week they mentioned their new ambassador program. This is a school that we're talking about, and so you can actually submit vertical videos. They have to be under 60 seconds long, and you can have the chance to be featured in school ads. And these ads are actually being run by Evelyn Weiss, one of our favorite people. Pretty cool. I have not submitted it yet. Jeff, I think we'll probably do that at some point. It'd be cool to get our face out there, and get some real money behind giving us our own promotion. So that's pretty cool. Any thoughts on that?
100%. Yeah, no, it definitely needs to be done. Like, it's going to be fun. Like, why not get some free exposure from School? I mean, I think they spend, I don't know if it's $1 million or $2 million a month on ads. So why not be a part of that? Yeah. Why not be a part of that? So that'd be great.
Yeah. And we're learning from Evelyn, which is really cool. She's, really gotten a lot of more. She's learned a lot just going through this process of managing such a large budget. So I'm really excited to learn a lot more from her. Also, we've got tiered pricing coming out. I think they said mid-October. So I know a lot of people are excited about this. It opens up a lot of possibilities on how you can monetize what we're going to be talking about today. So I think they said they're going to be rolling that out in mid-October. Is that right, Joe?
Yeah, they said basically they're hoping mid-October, definitely in the month of October. I mean, he's pretty much kind of confirmed that it'll be in October, preferably around the middle, they said. So we'll see.
Yeah. And this one is probably my favorite one and the one I'm most excited about because we kind of do our it's really hard to kind of track where your traffic is coming from with School and where your conversions are coming from. And so yesterday on School Knows, they announced School Analytics. And so this is probably my favorite one. The tiered pricing and all that's pretty cool, but we've kind of already established like how we convert people and everything and how we monetize. So the School Analytics for me is the coolest announcement. So yesterday, Sam and Andrew showed the behind the scenes look of the upcoming analytics for School. And soon community owners are going to be able to track where their traffic is coming from, how those different traffic sources are converting. Like, so what's the conversion rate of each one of those? What kind of MRR or monthly recurring revenue is being generated from those traffic channels and the churn from those traffic channels. So you'll get a really good understanding of all the different places that you're driving traffic from and how they're actually performing. So that's going to help you to optimize your traffic channels and really focus on the ones that are giving you the best results. So to me, that's like super cool. Like that's probably my favorite thing that's coming out. What do you think, Jeff?
I mean, I first of all, it's crazy to me to think for either $9 a month or $99 a month, you
Mhm.
get all of these features. This is
Yep.
when they showed the dashboard for understanding all your analytics. I'm like, that is incredible, and it's included. Like that's just crazy to me. So again, kudos to School Man for just constantly just one upping themselves and just
Yeah.
making.
I don't know if that's what the dashboard, I think they said that's not what the dashboard is going to look like, but if it is, it looks
Well,
cool.
it doesn't look like that. The data that you get from
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
what really matters. I mean, obviously it looked pretty cool as well, but I mean, even just having the data alone is phenomenal, especially again for either $9 or $99. Like I don't know how you go wrong with this platform, man. It's crazy to me.
Yeah. And the GHL updates, I mean, you just look at school and all the cool things that they're doing and just like high level. And it's just like, okay, guys, come on, man, come on. So, but they finally got the mobile app working better. So they released the unified login for all communities. So now you can log in one login and you've got all your communities there, which we've been waiting on, which is cool. They've got a course tagging feature. So you can tag courses on posts, which which schools had for a long time. It's okay. I mean, it's a pretty cool feature, but it's nothing groundbreaking. Automated newsletters, again, schools had this for a really long time, but now you can kind of automate, summaries of what's going on in the community, new posts, events, that kind of thing. And they're coming up with something called the following feed. I do like this. This is coming out pretty soon. It's basically where you can have a feed inside of your community of all the people that you're following. Now, I don't know if this is going to be, you can follow people from other communities and you have one feed where it's all of those people that you're following, or it's just people that you're following in a community. If it's just in the community, it's not as cool to me, but I do see some ways to identify like hot leads and then potential community ambassadors in your community that you get to basically help you to keep people engaged in the community. Any thoughts on the GHL stuff, Jeff?
I would just simply say, man, we love high level. Like, please, guys, understand it's not we use it every day. We're big fans of it. I wish they would step up their game on the community part of it. They entered this in to compete with school, and unfortunately, they're just so far behind on some things.
It's just
but I love the platform, man, and we use it every day. So like, we never want to be negative about high level. We love it. We use it every day. So guys, again, just I don't know if you're in a situation right now, you're launching. I lean towards school. So
yeah, and I mean they work great together. It's a one-two punch for us. So,
yep.
But so those are the big announcements of like the updates for the two biggest platforms that we kind of focus on. Let's talk about what's happening next week in Elite, which we're pretty excited about. So next week we're kicking off number 2, our second 10K community boot camp. So what is the 10K community boot camp? Well, basically it's an 8-week sprint where we're going to be helping our members implement each of the 4 phases. Let me share my screen here. Each of the 4 phases of our 10K community blueprint. And so basically inside of our community, they're going to have pre-recorded training. And then each week we're going to jump on and we're going to implement a phase or a step in the phases of our 10K community blueprint. And so here's kind of the, let me find my little thing here. Here's kind of the, where is it? Dang it. All right, give me 1 second. Okay. So here's kind of like what we're going to be doing. So week 1 through 5 is going to be focused on, first and foremost, creating an irresistible offer. A lot of people struggle with creating offers. So we're going to solve that by week 2. And after the end of week 2, people can be selling. We want people to start making money, start selling as quickly as possible. So that's what we're going to be doing in week 2 is creating an irresistible offer. And then the rest of the first phase here is all about getting the community funnel set up, which we're going to talk about today, and also what to put in that free community to get people to convert. Then we're going to be installing our organic and paid traffic systems into their businesses over week 7 and 8. And then finally, we're going to show them how to scale their revenue by doing one-to-many conversion events. So it's a really, really cool program. I mean, my favorite thing about it is just people are getting stuff done. They're getting results. Like we had a lot of people in the first 3 weeks making their first sales. One person made like $35,000. So it was super cool to see. So it's not too late to join. These boot camps are awesome. They're fun. Everybody's engaged. And more importantly, like I said, our members are getting stuff done. A lot of people this is the biggest thing, is people just don't do anything. And so this is our solution to making that happen. And it's not too late to jump in. We're getting started next week. All you need to do is join Community Builders Elite as an annual member if you don't want to miss this. Also, inside the free community, let me bring this over. Inside the free community, tomorrow at, where is it? At 12 p.m., we're actually doing our school launch workshop. So this is inside of our free community. It's absolutely free. We're going to be helping members set up, launch, and optimize their online communities so that the communities are built from the beginning to drive engagement and convert members into paying customers. And so if you want to join us for that, I'll drop a link in the description. There should be a link in the description of the video where you can join our free community, and then you can actually join us live. Absolutely free. All you need to do is show up live, and it's going to be awesome. Okay. All right, Jeff. So ready to get into the main discussion of today?
Yeah, 100%. Let me just add one quick thing about the boot camp, everybody, is that I know Ron and I, we're big believers in the idea of like build your business out of profits, not your pocket. And so in order to do that, like this boot camp is helping people in the first, couple of weeks, if they're really doing the work. And again, there's no guarantee, no promise, because you have to do the work. But this is the beauty of the boot camp, is it forces you to get things done and to start generating, hopefully right away some revenue, which then you can take that revenue and put it right back in your business with the idea of ads. Because I know sometimes people hear ads, they get all scared and they're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't have thousands of dollars. And man, we got some techniques at $5-10 a day can literally grow your community. So again, get involved in the boot camp, build your business out of profits, not out of your pocket. And you can do that when you're being guided step by step, week by week, and you're getting things done. So that's just my little kind of pressure. Like this is the time, like if you've been wanting to do something and if you're serious about growing your business, like this is that opportunity for a ridiculous, basically price. You get to work with us for an entire year. You get the boot camp, so many other things. So anyway, enough of the talking about it. I'll just say, guys, get in the boot camp. It is incredible, amazing results. So you want to be a part of it.
Yeah. So now let's jump into the main discussion. So a lot of people want to start paid communities from the very beginning. And in my opinion, for 90% of the people that are starting communities, that is the wrong approach, Jeff. And I have a few arguments around that that I think make a lot of sense, at least to me. So the first one is that if you're just getting started and you don't have much of an audience, Jeff, that means you're going to be marketing to cold audiences. These are people that don't know you, they don't like you yet, and they don't trust you. Okay. And so if you haven't established that trust and authority with people yet, it's really hard to get people to buy from you, right? They're not just going to magically buy from you unless you just have an amazing offer and you have the ability to get that in front of people really easily. Okay. So that's where the audience building and stuff like that. So if you don't have an audience, you got to have a really strong offer right off the bat to get people to convert. Okay. And a lot of people probably haven't even developed those skills yet if they haven't started building an audience. Okay. So that's one thing, right? And so right now, the coaching space and the digital products and all these things that people call it are information products or whatever. We're going through a trust recession. So your potential customers are now way more skeptical than they ever have been. And they've got their guard up because, we've all been burned in the past. We've spent a lot of money on different programs that have overpromised and under-delivered. And so it's just people are way more skeptical. And just in general, I think there's a lot of lack of trust out there just in general. Now, so that's, my point number one. Anything to add to that, Joe?
Well, and I just think that the only thing to also consider is that it's one thing to get people to pay attention to you. It's another thing to get them to actually pay you. And so what happens is that when there's a lack of trust, you ultimately aren't going to get any of your like analytical buyers at all. You might get your super hot, emotional, like I'm ready right now. I need help right now. And that's used to work great in with ads and with cold traffic. Now people want to get to know you more. And so what better way to do that than inside of a free community? Because that's where, that can take place, where you get a chance for them to see you for the expert that you truly are. So I think that's kind of, again, falls right in line with what you're saying, this idea that from the the minute they become aware of who you are, they're not necessarily in that hyper buy state, and they aren't necessarily, maybe they're emotional, maybe they do something immediately, but we're just looking at a lot more people being analytical. And those are the two types of buyers: people that are right now, and yet people are like, well, let me just check this out. So that's what that community does, and why the free works so well for people.
Yeah, exactly. And so first of all, building the trust and authorities, because we need to do that if we want people to buy from us. So that's like my number one kind of reasoning for this. Okay. Also, the second reason is I believe with starting a free community is the right move, because if you're trying to grow an audience on social media, YouTube, or wherever you're growing your audience, if you're doing that, from scratch, you really are just borrowing that audience, right? So that basically means that you are at the mercy of these companies and their algorithms. And if your account gets shut down, the algorithm changes, or ad costs skyrocket, it has the potential to really affect and maybe even crush your business. And I've seen it multiple times where, people that had Facebook groups in the past had either gotten their accounts hacked, and so they were locked out of their account, or the Facebook just decided to shut down their groups. And these are large groups that was their main source of traffic and business, right? So to me, it makes sense to move your audience from these platforms where, again, you're borrowing that audience, to a platform where you actually own that audience. And that could be an email list, but makes sense to me to make it a community as well, because with a community, people are seeing your face, you're interacting with them way more often if they're engaged in that community. And I think it's just extremely important, and it helps you to avoid these types of businesses disasters where your ad accounts get shut down, or your Facebook group gets shut down, your account gets hacked, whatever the case may be. And I believe that makes the community a very valuable asset, the free community. Okay. So that helps you to build an audience on a platform you own. And again, it also helps you to build that trust and authority with your audience, especially in this trust recession that we're experiencing. So that was my argument as to why most people should start with a free community. And now with schools' upcoming tiered pricing and subscription-based courses, there's a lot more ways to monetize that free community. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, I think the other thing to consider too is that, it's one thing if I post on Instagram and somebody can like it. It takes like a quarter of a second to like it. I mean, big deal. But I think there's something about people moving from a social media platform into a community that just shows me that they're more likely to become a buyer, or at least they're more likely to, basically engage with me to find more information about, whereas with Facebook, it's easy to join a group. Only about maybe 5-10% of what you even post, people even see in your group, and it's so noisy and everything. So I just think that it creates a little bit of like positive friction in the sales cycle when they move from social media into a community. They just seem to be like they're more likely to buy. And I think that in itself is a good, thing to keep in mind, that it's a positive thing to create a tiny bit of friction so you get more, likely people to buy from you.
Yeah. And you're basically building an audience that now you have their attention on that platform, and you can start to put offers in front of them. We do this all the time. This is how we just, got people into our 10K community boot camp. And so it's just a lot of positives to build this free community. And I think if you're starting a paid community right off the bat, you're not going to be building that audience that you own. You could do it with your email list, but you're not building it in multiple places. And I think that's just a valuable asset to have. And if you are trying to build an audience on a paid community, it's just going to be a smaller audience, right? So those are just my arguments. I think it makes a lot of sense to start with a free community. Now let's actually talk about, what a free community funnel looks like. All right. So I'm going to share my screen again. So this is basically the free community. Let me see. This might be a better view. Okay. So let me zoom in a little bit here. So basically this is how it works, right? So the primary goal of our free community funnel is to book sales calls. Okay. So we recommend when you're first getting started that you should be booking sales calls. First of all, and I'm going to make some arguments for this, it's the easiest way to convert members into your paid stuff, period. Okay. You can do webinars, you can do challenges, you can do all these other things. But when you're first getting started, the easiest way to get people to convert is just by having a conversation one-on-one with that person, right? And secondly, when you get on a sales call, you're going to be able to start to build relationships with your members. You're going to learn about what problems they're trying to solve. And that's going to help you to create more products or add things to your products and services to help them solve the problems that they're actually experiencing, right? And the only way you can really understand that is by talking to them, right? You can do polls and stuff in the community too, but it's really good data to just have those conversations with your members. And if you're not making six figures yet, you are not too good to get on sales calls. I see people all the time like planning around, I don't want to do sales calls, but they haven't made any money online. Like, listen to Alex Hormozi talks about this. Look, just do it. You're not too good to do it. And if you're not making six figures, and I believe everyone should start that way and get lead flow coming in. You just need people coming into your community. You need to be talking to those people. And then once you get that lead flow coming in, you can add new friction, or you can add a new sales mechanism to that process if you don't want to be doing sales calls forever. But at first, I think it's pretty important to do those sales calls. Jeff, anything there?
100%, because most importantly, you're getting data from basically the people in your community. And when I say data, what I mean is when somebody either buys or doesn't buy from you, you're getting an understanding of what's either the reason they're buying or why they're not buying. So for me, that becomes massively important because that data then can then be used in that one-to-many approach. Because if I'm getting consistently the same reason why people always are buying,
Sure.
then and I know that, I want to put that inside of a one-to-many approach. If I get the same objection over and over and over again, then that means that there's something I'm doing in my sales process that isn't helping them already come to the call ready to say, okay, I'm past that objection point, which means that I should make sure I put that inside of my one-to-many. So I just think it just should be absolutely a prerequisite before you do a one-to-many approach that you do some sales calls to get to know your actual clients that are in your community. And that's the second point, is make sure you're getting the right people in your community. Because at the end of the day, a community, it's not a vanity metric. Oh, wow, I've got 10, 15,000 people in there. If they're not the right people, they're not your perfect clients, you don't really want them in there. It's better to have 1,000 people that really would want to work with you in there and be able to truly help them, opposed to this idea of, I got this big community for the sake of a community. So just kind of keep that in mind. It's about data. I agree with you 100%. Like, get that data, because from that, you can then move into a one-to-many approach.
Yeah, exactly. I think, and then there are people on the call talking about that they've been doing, paid calls for a while, which is great. And that's, but when you're starting this new community, you probably need to start with that still, just to learn, okay, how are we going to, and then you can start to figure out ways to convert them in different ways, because when they're first starting to come in, you've got just a few members in there. You need to start to build those relationships as well. And I think that's going to be pretty important. So also with the free community, traffic becomes really, really simple, or the process of driving traffic. All we do is we drive traffic wherever we're driving traffic from. Our big channels are YouTube and Meta ads right now. We do a little bit of Facebook organic, but we need to expand to other channels. That's what we're working on. And so we just drive traffic straight to the about page of our school community. The school community about page works great to convert paid traffic, and really, any traffic, but way better than I think other funnels actually do converting paid traffic that we've seen in the past. So we drive all of our traffic just straight to the About Us page. And so all we're actually doing is just driving traffic to the About Us page. They come into our community, which we'll talk about in just a second, and then we convert them. Okay. So it's a very simple funnel, way less complex than anything I used to do in the past, and works way better, which is awesome. Now, when we do drive traffic from these different channels, I never promote the community. I don't think that's the right way of doing it, because in my personal opinion, I don't think people really care that much about joining communities. I do think they care about getting a tool that's going to help them do something faster and easier, or a training that's going to teach them something, how to solve a problem that they're trying to do. So we've always promoted lead magnets or courses inside of our free community. And that's how we get people to come in, right? We're not promoting the community. Now test it, try for yourself, but I think you're going to see a better result if you actually promote lead magnets or courses. Jeff, anything on traffic?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that, what people care about is what's in it for them, right? So at the end of the day, that's where those lead magnets are so important. Like what tool, what, lead magnet can you give somebody that makes them realize that, you have what they want? That's a far bigger reason for them to join your community. The community becomes a bonus because you do have people that do care more about relationship and that type of thing. But for the most part, we as entrepreneurs, we want that kind of next, shiny object that's going to help us really get to that next level. Now, I'm not saying chase shiny objects. I'm simply saying create a lead magnet that people want so bad that it becomes their shiny object to join your community and then deliver it, once they're in. So yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. Like, focus on getting them in your community with an amazing lead magnet. And there's, tons of different ideas out there. Maybe we should do an episode on that too at some point.
Yeah. So basically that's how we're getting people into the community. Again, using our traffic channels, social media, YouTube and Facebook ads are our two best channels, getting them into the community. And then once they actually join the community, we're capturing their lead information. So we're capturing their email, we're capturing their phone number with our membership questions. So those are the two of the questions that we ask when people join our community. And then once we do that, we have a zap that zaps them into Go High Level, which is our CRM. And we follow up with those people via text and email. Okay. So that's one of our two methods of our mechanisms for booking calls. One is that email, one is text messages. And then once they get inside of our community, we have multiple different mechanisms that work to book calls. So we have the automated DM and just DM follow-up that happens in school. We have call to actions in all of the lessons of our courses with links to book a call. We have links inside of our pin post. So we have a very specific pin post that talks about the value of our call and booking that call. And then we also do call to actions in the posts that we're making inside the community. And so we actually know that all of these different mechanisms are actually work to book calls, Jeff. So I, a long time ago, decided to create tracking links for every one of these different mechanisms inside the community and also in the CRM. So I know for a fact that all of these different sources book calls. Now, some are better than others. I would say that DMs in school and then the SMS is probably our two best. And then the courses actually do pretty good too. So all of those mechanisms work pretty good to book a call. So we're driving traffic into the community. And then once they're in there, this machine is working to get people on the call. And then on that call, we can present our offers, right? Whether that's high ticket, whether that's, paid community or whatever you want to make, whatever offers you want to make on that call. Any thoughts on that, Joe?
Yeah, no, I would just say that it is a multifaceted approach. So make sure that you kind of use all of them. I think for us, even we have it in our description. We actually have a link under the description. So like take advantage of all the different space. But ultimately, the point you're making, which I can't agree more with, is they get in your community, give them some value, and get them to a call. And from that is basically the best, easiest marketing that I've ever done or seen in 30 plus years of doing business, online. So to me, guys, this is so simple, and don't complicate it. Use this funnel and get them on a call, and from there, and the rest will fall into place. So just do it.
Yeah. So now let's just to show you some results from like what we're doing. So, and this is insane, Jeff. I checked this the other day. So back to our conversation around booking calls. So once we got to the point where we were booking calls consistently, and we've done that for probably a year, we got to the point where, we're talking to, some less than qualified people. So we decided at that point, let's add a little bit more friction to our process. And so we started taking group onboarding calls as our sales mechanism, and it's working great. And the cool thing about this, and we would only learned this by doing the calls, Jeff, right?
Absolutely.
So let me go back to talking to you here. So we added the group onboarding, but again, we would only have learned that by going through the process of booking the calls, right? And we decided, okay, let's try a group onboarding process to make sales. And that also allowed us to book more calls because we weren't limited by a salesperson's calendar, right? They only have so many slots in the day. And so that limits the number of calls that they can actually book. This is crazy, Jeff. All right, so let me share my screen. So this month, we booked 292 calls with this new process.
That's amazing.
And we grew our community, I think 27% this month, our paid community, which is pretty awesome. And I'll show you our ads. And this is our ad tracking sheet. I need to update it, but so this is legit our numbers. We spent $3,300 and we made $24,000 in revenue this month, Jeff. And we are booking calls at $18 per book call. I think the average benchmark for booking calls in the coaching space is $150, $200. So these are our numbers using the free community funnel that we're talking about, right, Jeff? And so it's just an awesome funnel. I mean, it really is. And I just think it's a better solution for 90% of the people out there that are just getting started. Start with the free community, and now with the new feature of the tiered pricing and everything, there's a lot of options on how you can monetize that free community. So back to the reasoning behind it. First of all, it's a great place to build an audience that you own off of platforms that you don't own. Secondly, it allows you, it gives you a place to build that know, like, and trust that you need in order to get people to purchase from you. And so you see the reasoning why. I think it makes a lot of sense and I think it'll make sense to you. You've seen the results that it actually can achieve. I guess the only question is, why not start? Why are you wanting to push it to? And now there are people that are successful just starting a paid community. I just think it's harder.
Yeah. And let me just add one thing for all of you experts, coaches, online course creators. I get an opportunity. I think this past year I've spoken to thousands of you, like, on one-on-one calls, group calls, everything else. And let me just share this with you. I know many of you got into this space, this expert, coaching space, to just help people. And you're not great at tech. It's not your first choice. You might not even enjoy doing sales or any of this kind of thing. I would just simply tell you that when you drive all your traffic to a free community, the tech aspect of what you do goes down probably 90% compared to these complex funnels and these delivery mechanisms with 4 steps and one-time offers and this bump and that bump. I'm telling you, the simplicity of this for you non-tech coaches and experts out there, it's become so easy that it's really almost becomes this no-brainer effect, especially if you're just look, I just want to help people. I'm a coach. I want to help people. I don't want to become an expert at tech. I don't want to be an expert at marketing. I mean, we do simple ads that get results to a simplified marketing funnel, which is simply called the community funnel because it works so well. And you basically drive them to the about page, which is one page that you just continue to make better and optimize. So from a tech standpoint alone, because I'm not super technical, guys. I'm fortunate enough that my partner is amazing at tech. He's brilliant at it, actually. And I can tell you that I could run this system, myself, not being very technical. Luckily, I have a partner that takes care of it all. Okay. But what I'm trying to tell you is this, for you that aren't tech people, this is another reason why this funnel is so simple and so easy. So if you are skeptical or you're afraid of tech, whatever else, you can't ask for an easier, simpler funnel to run than this setup right here. So keep that in mind for those of you that just want to coach and you don't want to become tech experts. Okay.
Now, for you, those of you that actually want to help setting this up, we've got our free school launch workshop, which is tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern inside of our free community. So this is where we're basically going to help you to set up this free community funnel. And so on that call, we're going to be walking through the steps of getting that thing set up. It's totally free. If you'd like to attend, I dropped a link in the description to join our free community, and you can go to the calendar inside the free community here, and then you can click on this link and you can add it to your calendar. We're going to be going live in school. So make sure and show up. And yeah, it's totally free. So hopefully we'll see some of you guys on that call. Now, I will sit here and we can answer some of these questions. So the first question here is from Sabi, I think is his name, video agent on Tube. So basically, how do you integrate school and GHL? So basically, there is a plugin in school. I can share my screen real quick. So there's a plugin in school. So if you go into your community, you go to settings, you go to plugins. there's a Zapier connection. So whenever somebody answers your membership questions, you can zap them into your CRM. And so that's how we do it. That's how we collect their phone number, their email, and then we zap them into our CRM as a contact. Okay. All right. The next question is also from Video Sabi. So can you talk about a little bit more about school versus GHL communities? So GHL is just way behind. I mean, they have great developers, but I just don't think I don't think communities is a huge priority for them. I think their bigger priority is AI, which makes a lot of sense. I mean, you know, that's probably a better route for them in general. So they're just really far behind on communities. I mean, school coming out with the analytics dashboard. School, you can go live in there now. School, they have the tiered pricing and all that. Now, school, I think High Level does have that, but in one community, you can't have both annual and monthly subscriptions in school in High Level. So it's just way behind. Like, it's just there. I know people want to keep it under one roof, but when there's just a much better platform to use, it's just a no-brainer for me, especially at the $9. But with the $9, just so you know, you can't use that Zap plugin. But yeah, it's just better. And also the About Us page for school, like I said, we're driving paid traffic to it. You saw the results that we're getting. It converts really well. And I've seen other people try to drive traffic to High Level community About Us pages, and it does not convert as well. I don't know what the mechanism behind that is, but it just doesn't. So it's just, to me, school is just like a no-brainer.
Well, and also, Ron, remember, I mean, one of the things about school that's amazing, guys, and I think Sam digs deep into this. I'll let you do the research for yourself, but there is a percentage of people that are coming into our community off the school platform itself. So we're getting free marketing just being on school. So I think the numbers were somewhere a little bit north of 20% of what he said on average. Now, that's not guaranteed. I mean, but I know for us, we do get people that are on school, they search and they find us. So from that standpoint, it is, you know, basically some free marketing. So kind of keep that in mind as well. But I don't know that High Level has that worked out yet, because I know they're working on that and they're going to have the search feature and so forth. But just think, if you're getting, an extra 3, 4, 5 people a month coming into your community for free, that's marketing you're not paying for. So look at your lead cost. If it costs you $10 to get a lead, $5 to get a lead, and you're getting 10 or 15 from school every month, it's basically paying for your membership. So kind of keep that in mind. Like that's another feature school has that right now we're not seeing High Level have.
A couple of other things. School is by far the fastest growing community platform because of Alex Hormozi. I mean, his launch, I think, brought in an extra 100,000 people, actual users that started a community. Now, a lot of those will probably fade away, but and I think and they're running ads. I don't even think High Level is even running ads for its communities. And so Evelyn, we told you they're spending a lot of money running ads. So it just has a lot more popularity and people on the platform. So that's going to be built-in traffic for your communities that you're not going to get from High Level. Okay. So that's another big thing. Also, it's just fun to own a community on school. Like, the culture there is just different from any other platforms. That you literally get Alex Hormozi's money models course. I mean, I know you can go to acquisition.com and also get it, but you get like courses in there for being a community owner. You get access to the schoolers community where everybody's sharing like what they're doing to grow their communities. It's just better, dude. Like, just do it. Like, honestly. And stop, like, everybody overthinks the platform. I would just don't overthink it anymore. Just go to school. Like, until that things change, just do school. All right. So can you talk about how to transition from free to paid? How do you know when it's time, and how do you avoid losing a bunch of people? So I don't do that. And I don't think you need to do that anymore, especially with the tiered pricing. I would just keep the free community and always grow the community as the funnel. Like, that's what we do. I mean, we just have a free community, we have a paid community, and now with the tiered pricing, you can have that in one single community. So I wouldn't even transition from a free to paid. I'd always have a free version of my community.
Yeah. I mean, think of the free version like a client acquisition system. Like
Right.
you just drive all traffic and that's your client acquisition system. We have a free and then we have a paid. So we move people from our free community into our paid community when they're ready to, grow, when they're ready to launch, grow and monetize and make money with theirs. Then they move from our free group into our elite program, because that's where they're going to get all the insight, the coaching, all the amazing tools that Ron's created on AI, all these type of things. So I wouldn't move from free and then switch it to a paid all of a sudden. I wouldn't do it that way. There's a better process. So jump into our free community, get on a call with us, and we'll straighten you out on that.
Yeah. So, I mean, the options are you can now have subscription-based courses or different tiers. You can have a free tier, you can have a medium tier, high tier in the free community. So I would just always keep a free version.
Yep.
All right, let's see. It's never email members, but we got some people just talking back and forth in the. Cool. I don't
think there's any more questions.
Think there's any more questions. So thank you guys for watching. And we've got another good one coming up next week, and so be on the lookout for that. And again, if you want to join us for the school launch workshop, be sure to come into the free community. It's absolutely free. We're going to go live at 12 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So hopefully we'll see some of you guys on there, and you guys enjoy your day, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.